Hey everybody, welcome to Plausible Deniability sans Johnny because he left and went away for some reason. With 10 seconds
there was this
left, we had going in, and Johnny just leaves. He just leaves us high and dry. I have no idea how to do the show without Johnny.
His was choice. Mine was technical difficulties last week. But we're back, baby.
There he is.
For you to say, I'm Michael Cross, I'm Brook Bullock, so I can just slide in.
Welcome to Plausible Deniability. I'm Michael Cross.
I'm Brook Bullock.
No.
It's too late. You've lost your chance.
You had your chance.
Hey, we're live.
And the chat room is already
I'm live. I know it's been
full,
crazy.
man.
Sofa Dog. We had Hal Horton.
Sofa Dog. I don't know who that is, but you're new. Good to see you, Sofa Dog.
Love it. Love it. One of our nearest and dearest fans. Thank you so much, Sofa Dog, for joining us. Hey, since we are live and you're out there, you're watching this, I know we've got, oh, look, we went up a subscriber. We're up to 224.
Sofa Dog is Mini Makron.
Yeah, it's Ethan.
What? Investigator reporting. It's Ethan. Hey, bud. Woo! Oh my gosh.
He just read the chat.
P:// response there. That's I get that kind of humor.
Hey, while I got your all attention and you're watching this, make sure you subscribe to this channel and get everybody else you know to subscribe to this channel. We're trying to get 1,000 by the end of this year. We can do it.
You bet.
We just
the
need
math
you.
says yes, right?
That's right.
200, it's May. The math says we can do it.
So, thank you so much for watching. And anything exciting going on in your lives, guys?
I have one more day until my unpaid leave. Woo! I'm excited about it.
My wife, too. I know. Sadly enough, the lawmakers will still be around for a lot longer.
Look, the crazy part is it's something you signed up for, Brook.
I know. Like, who knew? There's a really dumb me back in 1994 who was going to college, working at Walmart, and making like 12 grand a year, something like that at Walmart, right? Back in 1994. And my teaching salary was going to be like $28,000. And I thought, I am set. Like, it's double my income, like more than double. It'll be awesome.
And I love how he went from 12,000 to 28,000 and said that's double my income. That's why he's an English teacher. Fortunately, he did not go into math teaching.
I said more than double, I think. But maybe that was a quick addendum when I did that. But, you know, and then like, oh, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I remember the first time I got a really good paycheck, like, job. And I'm like, wow, look at me.
Woo! Yep. And then you end up buying a car that's not a jalopy. And then, you know, you buy a house and then children. Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh, have I got a car story for you guys. So, yesterday afternoon, maybe started on Tuesday a little bit, my van starts squeaking a little bit. And I'm like, oh, there's a belt that's loose or whatever, right? Something, you know, I'm going to have to tighten that up. And then yesterday, on the way to work and back, it's about a 20-minute trip, squeaking a lot. I'm like, oh God, one, it's embarrassing. Two, you know, I need to get that done. So I go to Aikido Wednesday night. I'm getting ready to leave Aikido. I start the car and I hear clink, clank, clank, tonk. Something has fallen off of my car as I'm in the parking lot, right?
Wow.
And so, you know, I've backed up out of the parking space a little bit. And so I like kind of move around, and the outer rim of a pulley, like that has the grooves on it, the outer rim of the pulley is laying there on the ground. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so evidently something froze up. And then, you know, that was the squeaking I was hearing, was the belt slipping by the frozen up piece, evidently enough that it just like twisted off.
What was it?
I'm like, what's that?
What was it?
I actually don't know yet. It's not the alternator because I made it home, you know.
Did your car overheat? Was it?
And it's not the fan belt because the temperature never went. It's not like for the fan, so the temperature ended up. I'm like, maybe it's the air compressor, maybe it's the the condenser, the air conditioner. I don't.
Oh my
know.
gosh!
But I made it home the 4 miles and then just parked the car and prayed to God that I could get a rental for today so that everybody could get where they needed to be. And yes, hallelujah, thank God, Oklahoma City Airport, right? I picked up a rental car at 10:30 last night.
Wow.
That is horrifying. If a piece of my car fell off, I would be so worried.
You hear stories like this, right?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it actually happened to me. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, I have to know, did you buy a bookshelf or did you get a table or what did you get? You said you went to Aikido. They have really great bookshelves that you have to put together yourself, and the instructions are just. Michael hasn't got the joke yet.
Yeah, it's IKEA. Yeah. I got it. Yes.
Yeah.
I've never been to an IKEA. I don't know.
My son-in-law did that because my daughter goes to Aikido as well, and so he was mishearing her when they first started dating, and so he was like, "Why do you guys go to IKEA so much?" I mean, he literally said that.
So what about you, Johnny? What's going on?
I just want to ask the chat and anybody who watches this afterwards to comment who's playing Diablo when it comes out in 2 weeks.
Ah.
Yeah. So, that beta happened over the weekend, and I played the heck out of it. Went through all the classes, decided I'm going to be the underdog and be a barbarian. So
cool.
Yep. Pre-orders in, and that's it. Been scrambling and doing some writing and some prepping, and we got a show to start coming up soon. I'm not going to say any names, but Brook's in it.
Yeah.
Hal's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a great group last Friday night at the Plaza in the Plaza Con. Great group of people stopped by. Hopefully maybe they're going to join us in watching this. We turned them on probably about a dozen or two people to Red Dirt D&D.
And if you'd already heard of us.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
And one of our own patrons, Ryan, was there. So who was the one who helped set us up, which was fantastic. Very looking forward to the con circuit starting up soon with SoonerCon, New World Comic Con, Miracle Con. It's going to be awesome. It's
going to be really, really great.
Really exciting.
Fingers crossed on ReaperCon.
Hey, ReaperCon, that'd be awesome. That would be. That's in Denton? Is that in Denton?
It's in Denton, Texas. Just right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We could take the Heartland Flyer.
We can take Brook's van.
I'm not touching Brook's van. I'm not getting anywhere near that. Hey, other news. Merch. We have hoodies, shirts, different types of shirts. We got caps. We got mugs. We got tumblers. It's great. Oh my gosh. Everybody go over to reddirtdnd.com or reddirtrpg.com. Click on the merch button and buy something. And I wore my new hoodie to my Saturday night D&D group, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's excellent." I mean, this is really good quality stuff, folks. This isn't just cheapo ironed on stuff. They did a really good job. Thank you so much to Teespring for setting us up with that. But guys, go get some merchandise. Everything you buy gets put right back into the show. None of us are making millions of dollars off this. We're using this to go out to cons. We're making it to do other things, so and I know I've actually so we recorded 3 weeks ago, recording again this Saturday. I have spent the past 3 weeks editing all 4 of our episodes, plus all 4 of the episodes for the Golden Vault, which airs right here on this YouTube channel. The Golden Vault, Keys from the Golden Vault on Tuesday following Memorial Day. So everybody subscribe, ring the bell. That way you'll know when it's going to come out, because that's going to be on Tuesdays now. The Red Dirt Outlaws is moving to Tuesday. We've been advanced one day.
That's awesome. You can listen to the RPG original show on podcast on Sunday. You got to wait till Wednesday if you're not a Patreon.
Right.
Why would you not? Anyway, so then Tuesday, you can watch the Keys from the Golden Vault coming up after Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday is Mysteries of Beatrix.
Yep.
Woohoo! And then every other Thursday, right here, Plausible Deniability.
Yep. Subscribe, ring the bell, all that kind of good stuff. Comment if you're not watching this live. We love this. We're having some great comments going on. What's going on in the chat there, Brooke?
Oh, sweet. So Hal said, wait, Brook's in the warehouse? Oh, no, not at all.
No.
Brook needs a clone to be able to be in the warehouse. That would be awesome. But I tell you what, those guys came by the studio the last time that Red Dirt RPG or Red Dirt D&D was in the studio. And I tell you what, guys, you are in for such a treat. You are going to laugh and enjoy the warehouse so much.
Yeah.
It is going to be awesome.
Yeah, should be coming out next month. We're excited about that. We're excited about Plausible Deniability, the Wayfinder Legends, hopefully coming out sometime around SoonerCon, which again, at the end of June. Folks, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet to SoonerCon, go to SoonerCon.com, buy your tickets now. Just join us for the weekend. It's going to be a gaming. I just talked to Bill over on the Discords about our table. We will have a table in the gaming room for Red Dirt D&D, so do come and join us. And we look forward to seeing you there at SoonerCon. We're also going to be at the New World Comic Con. That'll be in July, and then MiracleCon in August. So it's going to be a busy summer for us. Good thing 3 out of the 6 of us are like teachers, so they get the summer off, sort of. You don't really get the summer off. That's an incredible. I did not realize that till I married a teacher. That's an absolute lie. That's
100%.
We're talking about scheduling lately, and I think this man is more busy during the summer than he is during the school year.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I get my second job during the summer.
Yeah.
So there were some times when we were doing like some birthday edition things for Red Dirt D&D, and I was like in the hotel room zooming in on the hotel room Wi-Fi. So
That's right.
And I think that video is here on YouTube, so you can go back and look at that birthday celebration thing we did. That was fun. So,
hey, we got the magic number of 8 people in watching us right now. So let's start some bum 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 trivia. D&D trivia.
trivia.
That's right, folks. Right here, trivia. You ready to go, Johnny?
I'm ready.
Let's do this thing. Magic and miscellany. Let's start us with magic and miscellany.
It's
Fireball.
a brand new leaderboard, by the way, because Kinder Thulu came out of nowhere last week and grabbed 5 of the 6 answers in one.
There we go.
So
we're going to
it's
start
awesome.
all new.
So
Brooks keeping track.
We're starting over.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What spell creates illusory duplicates that mimic your actions but shift positions, making you hard to hit in combat? What spell creates illusory duplicates that mimic your actions but shift positions, making you hard to hit in combat?
As a warlock, I know the answer is fireball, but
It's always
it doesn't quite sound. The description
for
doesn't quite sound
warlock.
right.
It's always Eldritch Blast.
Oh, Eldritch Blast.
It's always Eldritch Blast.
Good phrase.
Oh, look at that! Right off the bat, Hal Horton gets it.
Woo!
Mirror image is the correct answer. Hal, look at you jumping right up there. Let's see. I haven't seen some of our big dogs who come in and out. I haven't seen Aiden or Andrew or Falcor yet. So
Helen Curtis may have a chance to run
Hal-
away with
Hal-
this.
yeah.
Jones isn't here. You guys may have a chance to run away with this one tonight.
Helen Curtis
so.
could do this one. So here we go. This one's history. One of the harder ones. Here we go. What pioneering war game run by Dave Weasley in a fictitious Prussian town inspired the format of Arneson's Blackmoor, and thus D&D? What pioneering war game run by Dave Weasley in a fictitious Prussian town inspired the format of Arneson's Blackmoor, and thus D&D? Ain't nobody going to get this. So
Man, I have no idea. That's a great question.
I'm sure unless there's people out there Googling it real fast, there's no way anyone knows this right off the bat. This would be a very hard in the history topic, because, and most of the history ones are hard because, see, Curtis, that's where I would have gone. Was chainmail, but chainmail is not correct.
Oh, yeah, those are great guesses. The histories ones, you almost have to be a grognard or the son or daughter of a grognard to know what they are.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, you just...
Blackmoor, because I know it got its start in D&D, but yeah.
Yeah, it's there. I mean, it's like I said, it's really difficult because unless you really know this, there's just almost no way to just really know it. So we'll give it a few more seconds, see if anybody can come up with this one. But like I said, it's a real hard one, so don't feel bad if you don't know it. Kriegspiel. That's a good guess, Hal.
Kriegspiel.
That's.
Oh! Did he get it in time?
It's not correct.
Oh! Sorry, I thought you were saying Kriegspiel was it.
I said it's a good guess.
Sorry.
I said it was a good guess. I will say it's Prussian, so it does kind of have a Prussian name to it. So that's why I think Kriegspiel would Curtis apparently blogged about it. He should look up his post. Fantastic, Curtis. That is awesome. Okay. The actual answer is Braunstein.
Of course.
Braunstein.
Braunstein.
Oh, Braunstein. Bruka. All right. I just made my wife giggle in the other room. All right.
That's talent.
Oh, I know.
And we've lost Michael Cross, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be back in a few minutes when the oxygen returns.
Oh, boy. Fantastic.
I'm sorry, Hal. I forgot who was in the chat room. Sorry.
Anyway,
right.
It's one that's like one of those jokes that you hear in like cartoons that you don't get until you're an adult. So yeah. Okay.
It's the internet. Woo!
Monsters. Y'all ready for some monsters?
Monsters.
What hump? All right. In the 1977 Monster Manual, which monster was sandwiched between the Zorn and the zombie? So think back to the Monsters Manual. It was in between the Zorn and the zombie. Now, if you think about the Zorn, the way it's spelled, I think is where we're going with that one. So
I have a good guess.
There we go. So, which monster was in between Zorn and zombie in the 1977 Monster Manual?
Zebra.
The zebra.
Yes, those killer zebras. The were zebra. Oh, no, that'd be before. Darn.
Were zebra. That's fabulous. I love that idea.
Is a were zebra just a horse and then dragons?
I think a were horse would be weird too.
I saw a meme of, it was a theme of like centaur inspired animals, right? It was, the question was something about anything else besides a drider, and there was a Dracator, which was a lizard man centaur, and I'm like, that is super cool.
Yes. So far, no one has gotten it.
I think I know this one.
Oh, Mark's here. Is it Zerg? That's a dog.
Did either of you guys play Zorg? The text-based. I loved that game.
At school in computer class.
Yeah.
I loved that game. I think there needs to be more text-based role-playing games I mean, why you
So
should?
they are still out there, Michael. You can even get them as apps on your phone.
Oh, really? See,
Stun muds and text crawls, and yeah.
In 2001, this isn't the same thing, at all, really. But in 2001, 2000, when I first started getting back into like third edition, I got back in with play by message board,
Oh, yeah.
play by post. And so, that it's not the same, but it was, like type and then wait and see, to the flurry of whatever happens and, that kind of thing. So Zork has the best graphics. Yeah, they were in your mind.
Oh my gosh. I'll talk
I
about
think
this. Emperor Zurg.
I'm feeling like the answer is abominable. Just, that's what I feel like about this
Curtis.
answer.
Okay, so Curtis got closest, not necessarily got the answer, but at least got the first letter correct in one of his answers.
Oh, so Ruffles
remember,
and Falcor, that's what I was thinking.
Zorn is not spelled with a Z. Zorn is spelled with an X. So this came between Zorn and Zombie.
Did Ruffles and Falcor get it?
Yes, Ruffles and Falcor got it. The Yeti. Yeah. So I was figuring a hint there. Yeah, you guys would get that once you realize it starts with a Y. Why? Because it's huge and hairy and scary.
What was why? Because I love you.
Well, close enough. I don't think the Yeti loves me. He loves you so much he wants to hug you and give you snow cones. All right.
Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny.
Here we go.
There we go.
Adventures. What was Tracy Hickman's original planned title for Ravenloft?
Oh.
What was Tracy Hickman's original planned title for Ravenloft?
Vampire Lance.
Strahdlance.
Strawdsville.
Let's see. Oh, so by the way, so I wanted to mention that I have finished watching Muppets Mayhem. Guys, if you have not seen this yet, it is the best Muppets thing I've ever seen.
Is it really?
Hands down. It is
awesome.
So good. It'll make you laugh. I mean, die laughing. Then tears, of course. Great special guest stars. Paula Abdul, Weird Al Yankovic.
That's awesome.
Peter Jackson, Silent Bob, Kevin Smith. Yeah, it is chock full of guest stars, and it is fantastic, and it's really good. So, still nothing yet. I can tell you right now, as far as hints goes, Johnnie actually almost had a hint earlier when he said his answer. So I know he was joking, but Demi Plate of Dread also good. Goth House, Laferatu.
We should award bonus points for best crazy answer sometime.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe that would encourage elements of the chat.
Curtis, okay, Demi Moore of Death.
I think I've seen that movie.
Yes. Was it? What was that movie she made where she was a stripper? I can't remember. What?
Striptease?
Maybe it was Striptease. That was it. Maybe that was
one of those.
Okay.
I don't know. The only really Ghost was the best thing she ever made. And then there's I guess
you're gonna discount G.I. Jane?
Oh gosh.
I said probably so I've heard, and I can hear Amanda in the next room go, I honestly have seen like bits and parts of both of those movies. God, why did I say bits and parts? You just love you. Okay, love your bits and parts. Where's the mute button?
There's the mute button. Yeah. Okay, I don't
For you,
think
Johnny, it involves tape.
I don't think anyone's good at this. The answer is vampire. Vampyr.
Oh.
Vampire.
Realm of Terror.
Vampire.
Realm of Terror.
That's good because I was afraid that he said Vampire Lance, and I thought you were going to say Vampire Land, and I was going to be like, that's a really dumb name.
That's a really dumb name. No, it's just vampire. Was going to be the name of it.
Good deal.
All right. And then here we go. In Dark Sun, which playable non-human creatures are sometimes called mantis warriors? In Dark Sun, which playable non-human creatures are sometimes called mantis warriors? We'll see who gets that one.
I've got a buddy, a great friend who is texting me. He's driving and so can't really look at the chat, but he's using voice to, listen to us and then text things. He's going to know this one. So, there we go.
Yeah, Ruffles and Falcor. Ruffles and Falcor's got it. The Thrycreen. Which you can now play on Spelljammer with 4 arms, which is kind of cool. Aiden plays a Thrycreen in his Spelljammer, and he's a cook. So he can cook a whole bunch of different stuff.
It's Looney Tunes.
Oh my gosh, Curtis, that's just wrong.
I don't know, Michael.
Yeah. Geez. Okay. Moving on to cosmology.
I love the cosmology questions.
Yeah. Name one. Let me fix that here. There you go. Name one of the 2 types of punishment that might be applied to someone convicted of defying a lord's edict in Waterdeep. Name one of the 2 types of punishments that might be applied to someone convicted of defying a lord's edict in Waterdeep.
Waterboarding. Thematic.
Huh. All right. And it's got a long answer too, so this will be interesting. Well, we'll see how this. Yeah.
First, tie you to a horse, and then it just goes on forever.
Wasn't that the final scene in Braveheart? That's what happened.
Is on the rack.
Freedom.
Snap.
No, that is not one of the punishments, but
punishment.
That was a nasty ending to that movie, but
community service.
Kiri, yes. Hal, I think you're going to give it to Hal because technically that is true. It is one of them is exile. One of them is exile, which banishment, exile, pretty much the same thing. You are banished for 5 years, exiled for 5 years.
You are both banished.
But let's see if anyone get that second one. There's a second one. So there is exile as one of them. What is the other? And it's so you've gone and you've gone defied a lord's edict in Waterdeep, and you've been exiled for 5 years, or this. So who got
the roll of disadvantage at your next session?
Yes. You cannot play D&D for 1 year. I know that'd be horrible, wouldn't it? Tied to a tree and smothered in honey, or put in that horrible bee cage that Nick Cage was put in. Not the bees. Getting grounded from your weapon for a week. Ooh, good one, Sofa Dog. Yeah. So no one's gotten this one yet because it's interesting. Oh, Stacey Jones got it. Boom. It's fine.
It's all about money in Waterdeep.
That's right. So you could be exiled for 5 years, or pay a standard fine of 1,000 gold pieces.
Oh,
So I'm guessing that's kind of the idea, is that you would.
I make that quest.
What's that?
I make 1,000 in a side quest.
I know. Well, and I think that's kind of the idea. If you can pay the 1,000 gold pieces, then you don't have to worry about it. Something has gone horribly, horribly wrong with with Brook.
I noticed.
He has frozen and he is pixelated. It is horrible.
I haven't noticed.
That might just be on my screen, which means it's going to come up on our screen.
He did. That was a joke. It was.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yes, if you're rich, needless to say, the halls of justice are a little bit wrong. They always have been. Anyway, so what else is going on with you guys?
I was asking if Brook is melting.
I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get Brook back.
But it looks normal to Hal, see?
Brook, you're melting.
Brook's melting.
I was reading this thing on how to reduce stress. And of course, it's got some great ideas like make sure you sleep, make sure you get out, make sure you do all those kinds of on how to relieve stress, read a good book. Number 3 on the list on this website, play Dungeons and Dragons.
Play it. Don't run it. Play it.
That's right. Yeah, but big difference. But, and of course, then it immediately says, by the way, it doesn't have to be D&D. But I thought it was interesting. It's just playing a game that is cooperative, that you are sitting around a table with friends. That's how it works. So if you want to relieve stress, you can play Dungeons and Dragons or listen to Red Dirt. I think listening to the Red Dirt D&D podcast, I think is very relaxing. Good music, good sound effects.
I will say, great escapism. There was an interesting moment in my life in the very early 20s where I had a group of friends and we all had the privilege of being like super free every night of the week. And we would all be hanging out with each other anyways. So it was gaming. We were playing. We did like a Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle for like 4 years straight, almost every single night of the week. And it was just like great escapism and just blow off the day. And yeah, it's like when you walked in and sat down to play, everything else was gone. Everything else was behind you. You know.
Yeah, it's a great way to escape, whether it's Vampire or Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, any kind of role-playing game, because the beauty of role-playing games is they're cooperative games. And so you're sitting around a table of friends and you're working toward a shared goal. Even I think even for the Dungeon Master is a shared goal of entertainment. And so, yeah, I highly recommend it. I don't think we're getting Brook back.
No, he's talking to me on Discord, but it doesn't look good. He flew too close to the sun, and now he's melting.
Icarus, no.
Oh, I know what happened to him. Something fell off of him, like a pulley.
Yes, it fell off his computer.
Right. No, he just moved super fast.
I know he did. And he gave us a little quick thumbs up. I don't know what that was.
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure he might be able to hear us in real time right now, but he can't respond.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the big thing too, was the escapism of it. Even like in a game like Vampire the Masquerade, we were playing, it's modern day. We played in Oklahoma City so that we knew the map and we knew the locations. But it was still not the real. It seems like today, and I know I've harped on this soapbox a lot on PD. It seems like a lot of today's gaming. I've been in groups personally where people want to put all the real world trauma into the game.
Yeah,
it's like no. I'm here to get away from all that. I don't want the big bad guy to be representative of a political figure that we don't like or whatever. But it's a good stress reduction if used properly. Yeah.
Great, Brooke. Turn your phone sideways. Thank you. There we go.
Yeah.
Give me a landscape.
Make things work.
Okay.
Brooke is no longer stained glass Mokrin.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Whoa, now you're upside down.
I know.
All
There
right.
you go. Does that work?
Sure, you're just going to hold it the entire time?
Wow. Michael was like, great way to relieve stress, and then poof,
I
Brooke
know.
disappears.
Brooke disappears.
I had to go play a game. I needed
We
to get rid of
stressed
some
him out.
stress.
He just had to bolt.
Well, it's one of the reasons why Dungeons and Dragons games are getting set up at workplaces during lunch hours. It's one of the reasons why Dungeons and Dragons games are creeping up in schools. They relieve stress. They teach social skills, especially for children who might be on the spectrum, for example. There's studies that are showing that role-playing games help children, especially who are on the spectrum, to learn social skills and learn to relieve stress. Because for a lot of children who deal with autism, stress is a very real issue in their lives, and so they're finding that Dungeons and Dragons and other role-playing games, and I don't want to exclusively say Dungeons and Dragons, any role-playing game will help to relieve stress in adults and children. So if you've got children that are wanting to, I highly recommend starting a D&D group at your school. You can do that now. When I tried to do that when I was in school, I got laughed at and was told that I was worshiping Satan. So,
As you should.
So nowadays, you could easily set up a D&D group in your school because it's now very popular and everybody's doing it. So if your kid's out there and you're watching this, I highly recommend go to a teacher and say you want them to sponsor you in a D&D club. It's real easy to set up, and it helps you, just especially if you can imagine getting done with school and just taking a couple of hours afterward, and because it worked for me. My friends and I always got together after and played games, and then of course spent the weekend playing games. So highly recommend it. Anyway, I guess one of the other topics we were talking about was the or OG, not OGL. It's something else for the Pathfinder. ORC.
The ORC, the Open RPG contract.
Yeah.
Continuum, something like that.
They have put out an ORC for I guess basically comments right now. And for the final. So what did you guys read it? What did you think?
I didn't read it. I didn't read the license, but I went through and I looked at a lot of the commentary that people had made, and it's a very collaborative thing that they're doing with other big ticket houses like Cobalt Press and not Imperium, but there's a couple other houses that are all coming together. Paizo, I think, is basically just kind of paying for the legal work, so to speak, of it. But yeah, when I look through the comments, it's very responsive. They're making a lot of updates, or they're listening to artists. One of the things that people made comments on was, so is there any way if I develop a certain mechanic that I can protect that mechanic? And they were basically like, no, not in the flavor of what we want to do, because we want to make sure that the mechanics, the game, is always open to whomever. So if you have a particular mechanic, like if you're going to use a D4 for everything, then maybe the orc isn't for you. But for this idea of community safety, for everybody be able to use a set of rules around the table, it looks really, really good. I'm not a lawyer, but it looks really, really good. So
yeah, I like that. I've heard some chatter about that too, and some people seem like they're missing the point on it. But yeah, you can't use an open license to create a mechanic that you're going to put behind the wall,
right,
and say people can't use this unless I say so.
That's not the point of it. Yeah. The point. Yeah, you can't say, well, I've come up with this mechanic and only I can use that and Cobalt can't and Paizo can't. It's like, well, then it's no longer open.
The same license all of you guys are using to make it, but only I can use it. Right. Yeah, that's it. That's basically what it is. I think it's great. And you know, someone said this when the OGL thing started, and everyone was pointing out, you know, I want to get into Pathfinder, but the books are sold out, or I don't have the money. I've invested all of it in 5e, and everyone was like, you know, hey, it's all free and everything. And there was a statement that was made on the internet that echoed, and it was, Paizo wants you to play their game,
right?
And so much so that they're just giving it to you. And I've heard that echoed again with this release of the new Orc update. Is they want you to build with them. It's like let's all do this and get this and make this happen. Yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. But because they're not a giant megacore, I mean, they're like a dozen people, you know, and that's what it is. It's great. One thing that really kills me is when they talked about doing the revised set, okay, and everyone's up in arms going, "Oh my God, it's a new edition," and like it's not. So Jason Bullman himself got on Twitter, and he wasn't like, "Here's something our PR department wrote up and our HR department signed off on, and I'm going to tweet it now." No, he got on Twitter and was like, "Look, guys, stop what you're doing, slow way the hell down, and listen to every word I'm saying on that YouTube video because you're not getting it." And I'm like, that's how you talk to the public right there. Like they're people, not and you're one of them. Like you would talk to your friends at the table, not like, you know, well, I am here to let you know that this is a good thing for us and for you. No, you know, none of that, you know, nothing mechanical and robotic. And I was like, and he can do this because who's he answering to? Himself, because it's him and like 3 other people at the top, and then there's just like 4 people under them, and then it's freelancers, you know. Keeping it small is what's keeping it more I would say heartwarming. God, that's not the word. Yeah, that.
It's keeping it real. You're not having to answer to a large corporation. And unfortunately, that is one of the problems with D&D and Wizards of the Coast. Is all owned by Hasbro, and so you've got to make sure your T's are crossed and I's are dotted because it's also about jobs. I mean, if I say something wrong on air, I'm gonna get fired from my job. And I don't want to get fired from my job. And I think the people who work at Wizards and people who work at D&D don't want to get fired. So they want to have to make sure that, you know. So, it's a part about working for a huge corporation. And unfortunately, that is a problem.
You know, something that kind of dovetails into that, and we can circle back if this takes us a different direction. But I've noticed recently that there's a lot of PR, like from Chris Pine and oh my gosh, Holga, the actress who plays Holga in the D&D movie.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. Michelle Rodriguez. Thank you very much. I've been seeing promos that they're doing for the D&D movie coming to streaming.
Yeah.
And
it's already on Paramount Plus. I've pulled it up, but I haven't watched it yet. I was going to actually watch it just the other day.
Yeah, I watched it a second. Man and I watched it recently.
How does it translate?
Yeah. How's it on the small screen? Good.
Just it's just as good. And the second time around, because I'm not going ooh, and everything, I'm catching more things or catching different things or catching things differently. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's because, like, you know, we all did some kind of, most of us did some kind of special theater experience. You know, I was in a theater that was bought and only a handful of people were there, and you know, it was basically like someone's close knit, you know, gaming group. You guys had the thing with the podcast and stuff, and there's groups around the country have done that. And so, it was rowdy when things would pop up and happen. People, you'd hear murmuring and talking and cheering. And so, it was cool sitting in the living room and watching it and being like, It was a good experience.
That's one of the problems with some movies. Like my one big one is Avatar. I saw it in the 3D IMAX and was blown away. Oh my gosh, I thought it was the greatest movie ever. And then I saw it on TV and went, "Oh, this is not good. This is." Now that I'm concentrating on the actual script and things like unobtainium, I'm like, "What
unobtainium?
What is? Why did I? You know, And so sometimes things don't necessarily translate very well from the big screen when you're seeing everything in big and surround sound to the small screen. So I'm really looking forward to seeing D&D just on the small screen. I really think that D&D is made for the small screen. I'm looking forward to more shows from Dungeons and Dragons. I was actually thinking about on the drive home about all the villains that would be great in a D&D television show. You've got Strahd and Baba Yaga and Tasha and the real Vecna, not the Stranger Things Vecna. There's so many things you could really bring into a D&D television series that I think could be really, really fantastic. But you were talking
That's
about
exactly what that made me. That's exactly what that made me think of as you were talking about that. Not monster of the week, as in like the X-Files, but bad guy of the season.
Correct.
The way that Stranger Things kind of does. That would be really great. And then there are some of those that, you know, dovetail into each other, where you could have this bad guy that actually is the henchman for this bad guy, or connected to that bad guy. In a series, it could be really great.
You can even bring back Venger.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited. I was just really excited to see, you know, we were talking that this is the positive side of having a giant corporation with your IP, is that Hasbro seem to really still be pushing it. Like maybe it didn't perform as well as they wanted to in the theaters, but everybody who saw it thought it was great. Maybe the actors are being paid for their time to do promos, but they honestly seem to feel like they enjoyed making the movie.
Yeah. And it's not often that once a movie's made, they keep promoting it like you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And so here they are promoting it for streaming. Like, guys, give it a chance. You're going to love it, you know.
And I've heard except for people who are a little bit complaining about the mechanics, which again, if you ever read a book and watch the movie version of that book, it's never going to be the exact same thing. So you got to kind of go, hey. Other than that, a lot of people are saying this is really a good movie. It really is an excellent movie, and you should be watching it. So hopefully you're right. I think maybe a little bit of a cult classic, possibly. I think there's going to be some.
I think so. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where it falls. Is it? I don't think it's going to be Princess Bride-esque, but it's probably going to be Legend. It's probably going to be Labyrinth, at least. I mean, you know, it's going to be in there. So
I can see that. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing the TV, see it on Paramount Plus soon. Right now, especially with the writer strike going on, and we here at Red Dirt D&D totally support our friends in the WGA and their strike, and we hope that all the best for them. Hopefully it doesn't last too long, but I also going to say, I want them to hold out for the best possible deal they can get. We have such a glut of stuff right now that I don't think we're going to go back to the early 2000s or the early 20 teens of going back to The Apprentice, more reality TV shows. But I think right now we've got plenty of things. So take your time, WGA, hold out for the best deal you possibly can, because we totally support what you're doing. And but right now there's just so much stuff out there to watch. We've got time to kind of sit down now and actually kind of enjoy the things that they've created.
Yeah, we as viewers have so much, or me personally, I have so much in my docket to watch.
Yeah.
That, you know, if there's nothing new filling that up, I'm kind of excited because I'm going to get caught up about the time new stuff starts coming. If depending on how long the strike lasts, you know.
Yeah, hopefully it won't last that long. I think that they're talking about the fact that there's so much more pressure from other entertainment guilds that are, because they realize their contracts are coming up soon too, that they are putting a lot of pressure on the producers and the film organizations, the entertainment groups, and saying, look, you can't treat these people, you know, you can't have it to where all the actors are making buku bucks and the writers and the other parts of the filmmakers are not making that much money and not getting the deals they deserve. So hopefully with the pressure that's coming from other unions as well, that something will be done fairly quickly.
I'm just gonna say, I remember the last writer strike we had.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is also the reason we got a flood of terrible, terrible reality shows.
Yes, it is.
Yep,
It's the reason we got The
exactly.
Apprentice, and
This
we all
season
know
we
what
got-
that led to.
Yeah. So hey,
Celebrity Apprentice. It was
in the
bad.
time we're upon us, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we lagged hard on YouTube during that, Michael.
Did we really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think our audio was okay, but we were like freezing up, and
Oh my gosh,
it's okay though. It's a perk.
that's
It's
part of
working
being
as
live.
intended.
Yeah,
It's a feature, not a bug.
yeah.
We-
Coming close to the end here. Wow, 10 minutes left, guys. How are things going in the chat? I haven't been able to look at over it.
Yeah, and I had to shut down and go to the phone. So, Johnny, you have to be our eyes on the chat. Are they behaving themselves?
Sure. Curtis is saying a bunch of stuff that I'm ignoring. They were,
Tell him to get back on his meds. I don't know. That's probably
then,
me. Sorry.
that happened. Hal says the audio was fine, so cool. Yeah, so yeah, the studios will figure it out. I think this time around with the writers' strike, I think it's going to have a better outcome than the first time we had the
I think so,
writers'
too.
strike.
Yeah.
I believe it's a different time right now, and people seem to listen gooder than 20 years ago when it
And I think
happened.
it's with technology. Technology is also since we're at the very beginning of artificial intelligence. I think that right now is the right time to be making this new contract because
Sure.
I think AI is just such. AI is here to stay, and it was so funny because back about 6 years ago is when they started saying this new AI type thing, and it wasn't AI. Now we finally have 5 years later, we actually have real AI, and it's right now because of what it can do, what ChatGPT can do, is I think horrifying if you're a writer.
I think so we were talking about this Tuesday night during my Pathfinder game, and so like writer strike, and people bringing up reality TV, and I was like, I just jumped to ChatGPT and typed write a sitcom, and it wrote out a script between two people who were roommates, and they couldn't figure something out where a thing was, and the cat had it the whole time, and I'm like. That would and then you fade to black and do the intro. That's just the intro to the episode. It works, and yeah, I mean it can happen, but
yeah, it's so funny because NPR had a story on it this morning about AI and the writers and what they're trying to do, and during it they actually had ChatGPT write up a film about a NPR reporter going in and talking to writers about AI, and it had it taking over the world and blah 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 blah. So even the AI wrote a story where the AI takes over the world.
Well, because that's what it reads on the internet, right?
Yes.
It's fully.
Yes. Yes, it's one of the reasons why we don't, you shouldn't be using AI for art. It's one of the reasons because it's stealing from other people's works. It is AI, sort of. It's really, I mean, 'cause that's where I get really kind of, it is AI, it's artificial intelligence, but it's not artificial intelligence because it's not self-aware. It's just taking, it's still an algorithm.
Yeah.
It is still just taking things from the internet that already exist and formulating it in its words. So, when I think of artificial intelligence, I think of something that is actually self-replicating, self-thinking, and artificial intelligence isn't that. It's still not,
So the day what will happen is I've been reading up a lot on. So one of the founding fathers of AI, from decades past, recently retired in light of recent events and has started campaigning against it. The head of OpenAI, who created ChatGPT, even he has approached a Capitol Hill and said we need regulation.
Yeah.
And what it's come down to basically is the fear of AI isn't a thing until the day someone can prompt ChatGPT. So right now we're at ChatGPT 4. is you could sit down and say, hey, why don't you write me the code for ChatGPT 5? And it did it. That's when we got to pull the plug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's again when it can self-replicate and can.
Or the minute the government says, how can we use this for the military? Because that's how Skynet started.
Well, we've seen that movie.
Either that or the Whopper from
War Games.
War Games.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't read the articles on this, but I've seen the headlines that they had a robot, and like Amazon uses robotics and stuff in the warehouses, but they had a robot and they fed it AI, and put it into like manual labor, and at the end of the day, it had deleted itself. And then apparently they had isolated an AI into like its own server and database and everything, and fed it nothing but like politics stuff.
Oh gosh!
Started talking to it, and halfway through the conversation, it self-deleted. So it's like, I don't want to deal with human stuff. If we make it deal with human stuff,
yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, what if we put a failsafe in there that it couldn't turn itself off? What would it do to retaliate?
Yeah,
exactly. Stuff. It may decide.
I'm not tinfoil hat, but
that's why you have to have the 3 laws of robotics.
Exactly.
Asimov was right on this one. We have to have, no matter what we do, that's all you have to do. Tell lawmakers that you just simply have to put in the 3 laws of robotics is the only way that we can move forward with AI. That you have to, if you don't know the 3 laws of robotics, look them up because they're very, very important.
What to say about the 3 laws of robotics?
What's that?
Nothing is foolproof.
I know, but it now you got to understand though, in the books, the 3 laws work. When they don't work is when you've got some filmmaker decides he wants to screw around with it, because in the books they do work.
They do work.
It's just when they got translated to movies where they started taking over, and you got that stupid Will Smith movie.
Good movie, not iRobot.
Michael, which one? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I enjoyed iRobot, but it had nothing to do with the book. It had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the book. It was like
The Hobbit. Good movie. It wasn't The Hobbit, but it was. This is making me think I need to watch Short Circuit again. So,
Why? Why would you subject yourself to that?
It's been a long time. I haven't seen it since like 86. For those of you who don't know, before the episodes start, we have banter. In today's banter, Michael Cross said that I don't even know this man anymore. He's never watched Short Circuit, the film from the 80s with Steve Guttenberg and Johnnie 5.
And Ali Sheedy.
Johnnie 5.
I don't know why, because I don't know.
So I'm thinking
because because you guys are younger than I am. You guys are just slightly younger than I am. By the time it came out, I was already too old for it. I didn't.
You started drinking and had babes.
I was going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show and the Rec Room, and I had no interest in seeing Short Circuit.
Has anyone in the chat seen it, quote unquote, recently, like in the last 7-10 years?
Yeah, and Ali Sheedy was after Breakfast Club. Never really did it. I mean, that was to me the her best performance was in Breakfast Club. Other than that, yeah. So I don't know. I just it wasn't my thing by the time it came out. And again, I'm just slightly older than you, so that's why it just wasn't my jam by the time it finally came out.
I will take this on myself and let us know who's right. I'll watch it again sometime soon.
Yeah, you have to watch it and let us. I guess I should maybe watch it too. I should actually watch it.
I'll let you watch it in the next 2 weeks and come back and talk to us about it.
Okay.
Yes.
What? Did anyone know what's airing on? Let's see. Let me see if I can.
It's a good question.
2023. Pirate that thing. I mean,
no.
It's a source to get an evaluation copy.
I do not pirate anything. Thank you very much. Pirating is wrong.
Okay.
And that is my official statement from the HR department.
When he asks his sidekick where he's from, and he goes, Philadelphia. That's my favorite line.
I like that one like the part of my hair, mister.
So Short Circuit is I could watch it on Hoopla. Okay.
So Michael, have you ever seen Explorers?
Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
So Brooke, they all these three kids all have the same dream, and it's the nerd, the kid everyone makes fun of because he's poor, and then just a dude.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke is in it. River Phoenix is in it, and they all they're all friends oddly, and they all start talking about their dreams and realize they're all having the same dream, and the dream is a schematic, a blueprint of a circuit board. And so the smart genius one builds the circuit board. The poor one has access to a junkyard, and he gets some stuff he gets an old tilt-a-whirl ride to sit in, and they all come up and plug it into a computer, and it creates a force field and starts flying them around.
Yeah.
Well, this is a spoiler. It flies them into space because it's aliens probing their mind, calling them.
Yeah.
When they get to the aliens only the way the aliens know how to speak English is because television is just waves in space.
Mm-hmm.
So everything they say is a great like Gilligan's Island.
I Love Lucy. Yeah.
That's
now,
fantastic.
Here's the interesting part: is I know it's been a while since you've probably seen Explorers. Do you know who plays the male alien?
Yes, Robert Picardo.
Robert Picardo, the Doctor from Voyager. That's right.
Yeah.
The Doctor.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, yes, it's just amazing.
You tell me he's an alien, not a doctor.
Well, he was an alien first, then he was a doctor, a holographic doctor.
Didn't Robert Picardo also play a witch in something? I want to say
he was. It was in Legend with Tom Cruise. He was Meg Mucklebones, the hag in that was Robert Picardo. Yes. Yeah.
And he was in Inner Space.
Yeah. And of course, do you know who played the devil in Legend?
Oh yeah, Tim Curry. Best performance right there.
Oh yeah. So my God, we should have a plausible deniability where it's just us talking 80s movies. Just 80s movies. We could go on forever.
We'll start with Short Circuit 2 weeks from.
Okay, I will watch Short Circuit before the next 2 weeks are up.
I'm hoping it's not just so bad.
I'm afraid it's going to
take away our friendship.
Hey, of course, I've also never seen Titanic, so.
Okay, here's the deal. You have 2 weeks to watch Short Circuit. You have 4 weeks to watch Short Circuit 2.
No, I am not watching a sequel of a bad movie.
I can't sing that song.
My son actually, because we had the Ghostbusters across from us in the plaza, and he goes, he'd seen Ghostbusters, and he said, but I've never seen Ghostbusters 2, and I said, you really don't have to.
You're fine. You don't have to see it once. You got to see it once.
I don't know.
It'll be just fine.
Just jump to the cartoon. Just go to the animated. That's so much better than seeing Ghostbusters 2. Anyway, yes, we've passed our time. So way past our time.
Yeah, we hit your nerd button, and we are pushing a full 5 minutes almost.
I know. So everybody, we are going to record a new 4 episodes of Red Dirt D&D this Saturday. Very excited about it. Certainly, if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from them. We're going to be doing our roundtable before we do that. Had a brand new episode of Mysteries of Beatrix aired last night. You can see that right now on this channel. Again, the final episode of Secrets of Monster Island is this Monday. Series finale. That's it. Series finale. Yeah. And we fight a big bad. It's huge and bad. It's horrible.
You all die.
I know what name is in the title. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So do check out Secrets of Monster Island series finale, coming up this Monday, and then the Tuesday after that we start Keys from the Golden Vault with Red Dirt Outlaws. Do check that out. And in the meantime, you've been watching Plausible Deniability. I'm Michael Cross.
I'm Brook Bullock.
Johnny Payne.